Hey everybody, good morning, welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing? I hope we're all alright. We're back with the weekly watches and it just seems like forever since I've done one of these. Last week I was travelling back from my holidays, the week before I was travelling there, so it's 3 weeks ago. So I've got 10 films to talk about, which is not a lot for me in 3 weeks. But while we was away, I didn't watch any films. You've got to go and just do something different and enjoy your holiday. Don't be watching films on holiday. Yes, Ollie. Yeah, so we've got 10 films to talk about, and some of them I did see quite a bit before I went on holiday, so my memory might be a little bit fuzzy on them, so just bear with me. It might not be quite as slick and polished as you're used to. But anyway, let's roll the credits and we'll talk about some films, shall we? Right, let's kick things off with Dredd from 2012, directed by Pete Travis, starring Carl Urban, Olivia Thirlby, and Lena Headey, most famous for Game of Thrones, I'd suggest. Yeah, I saw Tim at Tim's Film Waffle, whatever he's called these days. I could never remember, sorry, Tim. Tim was talking about this in one of his recent videos, that he'd watched it, and it just got me into the mindset of watching it. I hadn't seen it for a long time, and a film I remember quite enjoying. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times, I think. Yeah, Dredd. I don't know much about the history of Dredd, the backstory to it. So I think it was in 2001 AD, the comic, which I never used to read as a kid. I was more your Beano and your Dandy, nothing as highbrow as 2001 AD. So apparently this sticks to the more of the laws of Dredd than the Stallone film from the 90s, I believe, which I haven't seen actually. Which again, like, I don't know because I don't know the backstory of it. But yeah, this is a highly enjoyable film about Dredd, played by Carl Urban. In this dystopian world, he's part of the police force there, and along with newbie Olivia Thirlby, who is taken out on a first day to see if she can pass the Dredd exam and becoming one of this elite police force, they get called to this building tenement where all hell has broken loose in there, and it turns out that this tenement, this really, really high rise, I mean, it must be like 50, 60 stories high, is controlled by this gang who are using this tenement to distribute all over the city this drug called slow-mo, which, as Tim was saying about it, like, it slows everything down, so everything seems slow. And yeah, like, they throw people off the edge of this building, and because they've taken this drug, it seems to take for them ages to get to the bottom, when in reality, like, it's seconds. So, like, the thought of that death, you know it's coming, and it's just going to be slow and slow and slow, and when you hit the floor, you're going to splat in slow motion. Yeah, good film, good action all round. Urban, his dour in it, which is what the character is, I think. Yeah, good. Lena Headey as the leader of this gang. I can't remember what the gang was called now. She was good. She was quite evil in it. It reminds me of a lot of the film The Raid, the Malaysian film, where again they have to clear the tower block to get to the bad guys. Yeah, good action, good stuff. I enjoyed Dredd, so I'm quite glad that Tim gave me a push to rewatching it. Cheers, mate. Next up was Army of Shadows from 1969, the year of my birth, believe it or not. Directed by Jean Pierre Malville, who is a director I've only seen a couple of things now, but with this one I've really enjoyed them both. What's the other one? Le Silence de la Mer I've also seen. So I've got a couple of his big hitters that I do need to get onto now, like The Red Circle and The Samurai. Yeah, Army of Shadows, starring Lino Ventura, Paul Maurice, Jean-Pierre Cassel, and Simone Signoret. Yeah, what a great film this was. I really, really enjoyed this. If enjoyed is the right word, because it's quite a difficult watch. It's all about the French resistance in World War Two in Nazi-occupied France, the mechanisation, how they organise everything, how they run it, and yeah, really, really fascinating film. But like I say, quite brutal in places. There's some torture scenes that are quite horrible, as you can see in that. Like, what a terrible bit of history this was. Some really, really tense films, scenes. One in particular where the main character, played by Ventura, is in front of a firing squad, and you think he's done for. You don't think there's any way out for him, but uh, there was, and it was quite a tense scene. Uh, Simone Signoret, she was brilliant in this as this really strong woman. She was like one of the top people in the resistance, and she was the sort of glue that held everything together and kept it going, kept the fight against the Germans going. And yeah, for a lot of the characters, it doesn't end well. Highly recommend this. 2.5 hours long, French language, black and white, but don't let that put you off, because it's a really super film that I really enjoyed. Yeah, Army of Shadows. And next up, from 1981, we went for On Golden Pond, directed by Mark Riddell, starring Catherine Hepburn, the brilliant Henry Fonda, Jane Fonda, his daughter, and Doug McEwen. What a lovely film this was. A first time watch for me, one that's always passed me by. And you know, you put these films on, you watch it and you think, I should have seen that years ago. It's all about Fonda and Hepburn there, this old married couple. Just the relationship between them is brilliant, like the love and respect for each other, even though Fonda's this really cantankerous old character who I kind of identify as I get on in life. They have a house on this pond, and the cinematography is beautiful. Just a beautiful bit of the world they live in, where they're kind of withdrawn from society, but that doesn't bother Fonda because he's not a people person in any stretch of the imagination. The way he has made his relationship with his daughter suffer over the years, played by real life daughter Jane, and they've sort of drifted apart. So when she comes to visit with her new boyfriend, I don't think they were married. No, yeah, definitely new boyfriend, and his teenage son, it doesn't go well. It's not a particularly easy family gathering, and then she persuades Catherine Hepburn, because I don't think she wants to ask her dad if the son can stay with them while they go travelling. And the son is not a very nice character. He's a horrible little git at first. And it's all about Fonda then melting towards the son and then forming this relationship where he'll take him fishing and stuff like that. Yeah, just a great, great feel good film that I really enjoyed. Won 3 Oscar, Best Actor and Actress, which thoroughly enjoyed, because the relationship in them, you really do buy into it. You really do believe that they could be a married couple. Yeah, could do with a Blu-ray. Don't think it's got a Blu-ray, because this wasn't the best DVD that I've ever seen in my life. So if it gets upgraded, I will definitely look at getting the Blu-ray. Yeah, good stuff. Jane, she doesn't half look like her dad, doesn't she? As did son Peter. Yeah, I think Peter, he was a spitting image of his dad. So if, like me, you've been sat on the fence with On Golden Pond, give it a watch. it's a really good time. Just one of these films, easily watchable, just washes all over you. You don't need to think about when you're in that sort of mood. Yeah, highly recommended. Right, next up, an absolute classic, The Shawshank Redemption from '94, directed by Frank Darabont. Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, Bob Gunton as the warden, Clancy Brown as a really horrible screw, as we call him in this country, James Whitmore as Brooks, old man who's instituted into this prison. We've all seen it. We all think it's fantastic, surely. My first viewing in 4K, and the transfer really, really nice. Takes it up even more a notch, in my opinion, as a great film. This film about Tim Robbins' character, Andy Dufresne, who's wrongly incarcerated for the murder of his wife and her lover, which you can see why he got done for it. Like, all the evidence was pointing in his direction, even though he was innocent. And his struggles, his trials and tribulations in this prison, his relationship he forms with Red, Morgan Freeman's character, how he gets himself this niche as doing all the accounts for the prison staff, and that makes his life a bit easier in there. The stuff, the abuse he took in there, and how he stood up to it and fought back. You've all seen it, I'm sure. The escape and the music when he crawls out of the tunnel. The beautiful looking film, and a film you could just watch over and over again. You all know it. You all seen it, and like me, I'm sure you all love it. Yeah, really good stuff. I could actually watch it again now, just talking about it. That's how good it is. Yeah, the Shawshank Redemption. And next from 2017, yes, 2017, Where Do the Years Go? Directed by John Watts, starring Tom Holland as the titular Spider-Man, Michael Keaton, Robert Downey Jr., Marissa Tomei, Jon Favreau, Gwyneth Paltrow, Zendaya, Donald Glover, Spider-Man Homecoming. That's quite a good stacked cast, isn't it? Yeah, I have seen this. It's probably about my third time watching, and I really, really enjoyed it this time. I think the most I've ever enjoyed it. It might be because I got a bit of a Brucey bonus. Like, I pulled my copy off the shelf, look, Blu-Ray. When I took the slipcover off, it's the 4K, which I wasn't expecting. I dare say it must have been me that put the slipcover on, but forgotten all about it. So whether like this small win got my endorphins flowing and made me enjoy it more than I ever had done, I really don't know. Yeah, really like this one. I think Tom Holland decent as Spider-Man. Not the best for me. Tobey Maguire would be the best. But I loved his relationship with Robert Downey Jr. because this takes place after the battle in Civil War, and it's been sort of cast aside by the Avengers because Downey Jr., Iron Man, obviously wants him to grow as a person before really getting involved in the heavy stuff of the Avengers, and Tom's not happy about this. He's harassing Happy, played by Jon Favreau, to get him back with Robert Downey Jr. And then he finds out the girl he's trying to date is her father is the Vulture, and then how that affects his relationship with his girlfriend. And Michael Keaton then discovers his identity. Yeah, really good. Really liked it this time. And yeah, making my way through the MCU again, because I think I got as far as Eternals. I think I've said that before. And this was a good one. Just trying to think what's next now. I think it might be Thor Ragnarok, which is another one that I really like. Yeah, so I've been actually quite enjoying going back through them again. Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, good stuff. And next, from 1994, Natural Born Killers, the director's cut apparently, directed by Oliver Stone. starring Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis as Mickey and Mallory Knox, and you've got again Robert Downey Jr., you've got Tommy Lee Jones, you've got Tom Sizemore, and you've got Rodney Dangerfield. Now, believe it or not, this was a first time watch for me, a film that's always passed me by. I've got a lot of them, I must confess. And I don't know what to think. I did enjoy it, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but it could have been so much better. It was weird, it was totally odd. The editing was absolutely crazy. The cinematography was ridiculous. It took it in directions that, for me, were bloody bonkers, with anime in it. There was a real scene where Juliette Lewis Mallory, she was getting abused by her parents, and they'd set it to a canned laugh track like in an American sitcom, which I didn't think worked. It was such a horrible scene. I didn't want to see it played out like a sitcom. Yeah, really crazy. But I did enjoy the story of these two that are going on a killing spree, and then they get arrested, and their escape from prison. Robert Downey Jr. as this reporter, this television reporter, had a television show about serial killers and was trying to make these two his biggest ever show. Tommy Lee Jones as the prison guard, prison warden, he was horrible. Tom Sizemore as this real twisted detective who was just as bad as Mickey and Mallory, in my opinion. Rodney Dangerfield, who played the dad. I like Rodney Dangerfield, but he was horrible. It was a collection of horrible characters all thrown together in this ridiculous melting pot of craziness. And like I said, I just don't know what to think. How much did I enjoy it? I really don't know. I might have to watch it again just to find out. And I think it could go either way on a rewatch. I could either extend it to a film that is not one of my favourites, but I'd really like, or it could put it in the trash. I've really got no idea. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on Natural Born Killers, because it's a bloody odd one, isn't it? Yeah. And next I went for Meek's Cutoff. From 2010, directed by Kelly Richard, not sure how you pronounce that, starring Michelle Williams, Bruce Greenwood, Will Patton, Zoe Kazan, Paul Dano. Now, recently I've been enjoying more modern westerns. I prefer the traditionalist 50s, 40s, 60s westerns. I do enjoy a wedding, so if anybody wants to invite me. So I did a sort of YouTube search on modern westerns to watch, and this come up a couple of times, and I'll tell you what, I didn't like this at all. I thought it was terrible. It looks nice. Westerns very often do. They've obviously got lovely cinematography, but my God, this was boring. It's about this group of families that are travelling by wagons across to the West, looking for the riches of the West, and the trials and tribulations of what went on their journey. And oh geez, it just boring. It was walking and mind-numbing conversations for pretty much of the whole runtime, and interspersed with the odd bit of danger, which was very few and far between. They're being tracked by Indians, so they take a Indian hostage who they try and lead them to the water, and that's most of it. Their struggle with water, and yeah, it was dragged out. I mean, I think the runtime was under 2 hours, but it felt like 3. Not one I could recommend, I'm afraid. Just dull. More walking than the Lords of the Rings trilogy put together. First film I've seen by the director, and doesn't make me want to go and check out any more of her work, to be honest. Yeah, this film was dull from Dullsville. I can't recommend it, I'm sorry. It can't get any worse after that, can it? It bloody did. Jungle Cruise, yeah, Jungle Cruise from 2021, and another director whose name I'm going to butcher, Joan Calais Sarah. I know you guys like it when I have difficult directors' names. Yeah, starring The Rock, Emily Blunt, Edgar Ramirez, Jack Whitehall, who's bloody atrocious in this, Jesse Plemons, who I normally like, Paul Giamatti, who's normally one of my favourite actors. What a bloody stinker this was. This gets the official Blu-Ray Movies Bag of Bollocks award. It's the worst film I've seen for ages. Now, it started off quite well. It was quite interesting at first with Emily Blunt getting The Rock to take her on this mission to find this leaf or tree or something. I don't know, that's supposed to give you eternal life. And The Rock's relationship with Giamatti, who he owes money. I think if it stayed like that, I might have enjoyed the film, but it descends into ridiculous plot. Some of the most awful CGI I've ever seen in my life, that just so unreal, that just totally took me out of the film. Jesse Plemons is this Nazi who can talk to spiders or something stupid like that. There's a twist with The Rock's character that absolutely made me roll my eyes in disgust at how they could put this twist in. I just can't recommend it. I just hated, after the last few minutes when the trip got on and on, I pretty much hated every minute with it, and I actually can't believe that I stuck it out to the end. Yeah, I think Stuart actually watched it and recommended it to me, and so that's why I grabbed a copy, and I just can't realize how terrible this film is. Yeah, probably the worst film I've seen this year, and I've seen some stinkers this year with that video rentals box set thing I went through, but this took it to a new level. Yeah, Jungle Cruise, what were they thinking? Up next, we go for Evil Under the Sun from 1982, directed by Guy Hamilton, who you probably know, he directed quite a few Bond films, amongst other things, starring Peter Ustinov as Hercule Poirot, the brilliant James Mason, again one of my favourite actors, Sylvia Miles, Roddy McDowall, Maggie Smith, Jane Birkin, Diana Rigg. Yeah, really stacked cast in this one, and I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was excellent. A first time watch for me. Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot story, all about this group of people who descend on this island in the Mediterranean, I think, and Diana Rigg's character gets murdered, who is not a very likeable character. She seems to make enemies of everybody she comes into contact, and everybody's a suspect. And Hercule Poirot, he has to investigate and reveal who murdered her, and it's one of them twisty murder mysteries who, personally, I kept changing my mind who I thought it would be. Like I say, everybody's got a good reason for murdering Diana Rigg, and Poirot has to get to the bottom of it. It's set on this island, this beautiful island, so it was really nice to watch. Made me want to go back on holiday, to be honest. James Mason, brilliant in it as he is in everything. It's made me order now a copy of the Ustinov Poirot film Death on the Nile, because I have seen that years and years ago, so I'm looking forward to re-watching that. They made Jane Birkin look like quite plain, which is quite an achievement, because she was quite a stunning woman. Yeah, really enjoyed this. Quite glad I watched it. I know Ollie's a fan, and yeah, I agree with Ollie. Good film. And last for this week, from 1959, we've got Northwest Frontier, directed by J. Lee Thompson, starring Kenneth More, Lauren Bacall, Herbert Lom, Wilfrid Hyde-White, and Ursula Jeans. What a name, Ursula Jeans. And this might not be the best film of the week, but I tell you what, it's the film I enjoyed the most this week. Yeah, what a great adventure story. This is all set in India, imperialistic India in 1905, and Muslim tribes are all gathering together to try and overthrow the Hindu leadership, the Maharaja, who they kill but leave his little son alive. Kenneth More is tasked with getting the son to safety, because if the son dies, then all chaos is going to erupt in India. Unfortunately, they've missed the last train to Delhi where they can get him to safety, so they have to rely on this old clapped out train there to try and get him across country to Delhi. And he takes a group of other people trying to flee the region with him. You've got Lauren Bacall character there. She was the boy's like nanny and teacher, and generally looked after him, raised him up. So she went with them. You got Herbert Lom's character there. He was this really horrible reporter. Herbert Lom, he plays a great bad guy. He's again another one of my favourite actors. Wilfrid Hyde-White and his wife, and it's just about the adventure they have on this train. A film more or less wholly set on this train, and the things that go wrong and the things that go right with this train. There's the usual things that happen in these films, like a section of the track blown away and the tribesmen are all attacking them. There's always a bridge scene on these films. Just a great film that I really enjoyed. Looked great, set in CinemaScope and Eastman colour, as they call it. Looked wonderful. Really good story. One of these Sunday afternoon type adventure films that was highly enjoyable. I could see me going back to this over and over again, and a film I just wish now that there was a Blu-ray, because it's one of them DVDs that shows a box in the middle of the screen, which fortunately I've got a large TV, so it's plenty watchable. But if you had a small TV, I could imagine it being quite troublesome. The DVD is pretty cheap, so if you like the sound of it, I'd wholeheartedly recommend you to grab a copy if you like these type of action adventure films. Brilliant Sunday afternoon fun. That's it. Right, that was it for the week, guys. Be back now weekly, hopefully all being well. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to hear more of this twaddle, and I'll catch you all later. Ta-ra, thanks very much.